All right, it's 3 p.m., time for me to break my fast, and so I thought I would answer some questions I've gotten from you guys while I cook my very exciting, very unique breakfast. Are you ready to do this? So I get hundreds of questions, and what I try to do is I try to pick out the ones that when I answer them, not only will they help that one person, but it'll help hundreds of other people who probably have that same question. So even though I may not be answering your question today, you maybe should listen until the end, because I'll probably answer a question that you'll go, oh, I didn't even think of that. So stay tuned. I need to put a little oil in here first. Let's get some of this Amish butter. Put a big hunk of that in there. First question is, what about seed oils? Are they really, really bad? I've had hours of conversation with Professor Ben Bigman, Dr. Eric Westman, and other people who actually think and read and research. I think that vegetable seed oils are net negative. I do not think they're the devil like some people think they are. I do not think that it's proven that they're harmful. I think they are a very modern addition to the human diet. We've only been eating some of the seed oils for 50 years out of our entire existence on this planet. So they're not ancestrally appropriate. They're not something that humans have ever eaten before, and you cannot make them on your kitchen stove. You can make avocado oil in your kitchen. You can make olive oil in your kitchen. You can make coconut oil in your kitchen. But the vegetable seed oils, you have to have a chemical factory to make them. That makes me a little nervous, okay? There is some limited research that they can be inflammatory to certain parts of your body. There is some limited research that perhaps they're not ideal for human consumption. I don't think they're some poisonous demon spawn like some people say they are. They're not ancestrally appropriate. We've got beautiful animal fats that you can cook with that are super nutrient dense and healthy. So why would you even use canola oil or soybean or peanut or safflower? Why? There's just no point. So Kelly had a question about whether it's safe for women to do carnivore during certain seasons of life or even long term. Anytime you ask a diet question, you should think about the ancestral appropriateness of it, right? So if we go back in time 10,000 years and you've got a tribe of people, 50, 100, and there's half men and half women, right? Did the women have different foods to eat than the men, or did they eat exactly the same thing? Right, they had exactly what was available, which was usually meat. And so I don't think there's any danger whatsoever for a woman to eat a carnivore diet when she's pregnant, when she's breastfeeding, when she's lactating, when she's young, when she's a teenager, when she's in menopause. I literally don't think there's any danger to any woman at any period of her life eating a nutrient-dense, healthy carnivore diet. So I'm just browning up my ground beef in the butter. When the ground beef is almost finished, I'm gonna crack some eggs into this, and then I'm gonna put a little salt and a few seasonings, and then I'm gonna eat it up. BJ said, what changes have you personally noticed since you've been a carnivore? So I lost about 50 pounds on keto, and then I was stuck. I couldn't lose any more. When I went carnivore, I lost the last 20 pounds, and now I hang out at about 225. At 6'3", I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. Some people would say I'm still overweight. They can suck it. I don't care what they say. I'm happy at 225. It's way the hell better than 297. My levels of joint inflammation got even better on carnivore versus keto. Keto helped, but they went completely away. And so I'm out here on the farm daily, doing the work that a 20 or 30-year-old would be complaining about. I'm doing it and having a great time because my joints are not inflamed, they're not stiff, I'm not having pain. Another thing that got completely better on carnivore is my chronic reflux heartburn. I have a hiatal hernia, and I used to have chronic severe heartburn. I had to take 2 Nexium every single day. But on keto, it got 80% better. On carnivore, I have 0 heartburn and haven't had heartburn in like 8 years. And that's coming from somebody who used to have heartburn constantly every single day. Another thing that has gotten better and went completely away is toenail fungus. I used to have a significant case of yucky toenail fungus. I actually made a video about toenail fungus back when keto was helping to resolve it. Keto made it 80% better. On carnivore, I have 0 toenail fungus. It just went away and stayed away. Now, there are thousands of other people you can check out online that have used carnivore to heal other things. Those are just the things I personally healed on a carnivore diet. I've gotten a few comments that my breakfast is boring because I eat the same thing every day and it's not frou-frou and fancy and full of lots of weird exotic ingredients. It's just ground beef and eggs. I love it. It tastes great. It fills me up. I look forward to this every single day. A lot of people who are not carnivore are like, don't you get bored? 100% no. There's not a day where I'm like, I don't want beef and eggs today. That just doesn't happen because I wait until I'm truly hungry. Time to eat when I get hungry. And when you're hungry, real food always sounds good. Jason sent me a question and said, how important is sleep really? I'm a young guy and I want to run and gun. I don't want to sleep 8 hours every night. So first of all, you must have 8 hours a night. That's kind of a myth. There's a range. Some people need 6, 7, 8, a few people even 9 hours a night. You need to figure out where you feel fully rested and ready for the day. Sleep is vital. It's not optional. I can remember when I was in my 20s, I used to think, I wish they'd invent a pill. I could just take it and then never have to sleep. Now, looking back, I know that's ignorance because I just didn't know better. You need to protect your sleep time. I've got a YouTube video about many different sleep hygiene tips, from a sound machine to the temperature of your bedroom, from what you wear when you're asleep, what kind of covers you use. All that stuff's important. And as you get older, I'm going to be 57 soon, sleep becomes even more important. You have to prioritize it and you have to protect your sleep castle. You cannot let sounds and light be creeping in there. So check out my other video about sleep hygiene if you want to see all the things I do to maximize my sleep. It's a really big deal. My meat's almost done. I'm gonna put something in my meat that you may not put in yours. This is Keto Chow's salty daily minerals. I've put some in a little medicine dropper so that I can do this to my ground beef. These are minerals. They're not going to evaporate. They're going to stay with the meat, okay? Salty, check it out. Because much of the food in our modern supermarket does not have the amount of minerals that food used to have. I do that every single time. It just tastes salty. I can't taste any kind of minerally taste. 10x is the nutrition in this ground beef, and it still tastes delicious. Let me get some of Neisha's beautiful, I don't know if that's a real egg or a fake egg. I'll have to crack it and see. I'm probably going to put 6 eggs in this. Always include the yolk. If you don't use the yolk in your egg, if you ever order an egg white omelet, we are not friends. We have fake eggs in the nests in the hen house, and that kind of is a visual cue to the hens that that's where you need to lay. But they look so much like eggs that sometimes we'll bring a fake egg by accident. So these are called dummy eggs, and it just tells the hens where they need to lay, because if you don't do that, they'll be laying eggs all over the woods. What blood work should I make sure that my doctor orders when I go in for my annual checkup? So all the labs your doctor normally orders, those are fine. You need those. But what your doctor's probably not ordering is a hemoglobin A1C. Even if you're not diabetic, you need that checked. A fasting insulin, even if you're not diabetic, you need that checked. Your triglycerides and HDL, which will be part of the lipid panel, which they almost certainly will check. And then an HSCRP to detect chronic inappropriate inflammation in your body. You need those 5 tests every time you have a needle stuck in a vein. Oh yeah, that's looking good. All right, this looks done. Let me get this in a bowl. Plated, bowled. Let me get this bowled. Is that a word? Do chefs say that? Because I'm a chef, because look at this feast. I also use Pluck Spicy Mild Seasoning. This is beef organs and so it's an effortless, tasty way to again, 10x the nutrition. So I just put a good amount of this. It tastes a little bit spicy, a little bit garlicky. It's beef organs. I'm eating beef liver, even though I'm not eating beef liver. So I love this stuff. You should try it. Now, if I wasn't able to answer your question today, you really need to consider joining our private community. There's a link down below. I do 4 hours of live Q&A with the tribe members in our community each and every week. So if you got lots of questions and you really need some answers, consider joining the community. I'm going to go smash this.